Hello, everyone. This is Cyrus Hojati here. Now, I have made a lot of videos exposing the immigration crisis here in Las Vegas, including the state of Nevada. And I've told you how the immigration is part of a global plan. The global plan is to systematically change and manipulate our culture, our way of life, to benefit special interests, but to more importantly influence a group of politicians who are going to change our laws and destroy our American Western values that we've had for centuries. And what basically happened is that you had a bunch of paid agitators, and they are paid agitators. Basically, many of these organizations are funded by Soros and many other wealthy people. And on a Monday, believe it or not, this is what they do as part of their job. They go on a bus ride, go to Carson City at our legislature, and they try to pressure our legislatures, which they already are good friends, and they already are influencing and voting in our elections. That's foreign influence, ladies and gentlemen, to change our laws and to put our lives in jeopardy. And as you can see here, you have an individual, you have a piece of garbage named Edgar Flores, which of course many of these politicians are not going to answer your phone calls, they're going to ignore you, and they're just going to play a very one-sided business. In other words, they're not doing their job, they're being shady. But these people don't care. They care about their benefits, they care about their protections, and they just want to get the services extracted out while we, the taxpayer, remember, it's tax day, we pay for these pieces of garbage, and they know that they're getting away with it, but they're using warm and fuzzy words to go on. So let's see what this piece of garbage has to say.
Who am I missing? I just want to make sure I do an adequate shout out.
Indivisible.
Planned Parenthood, who else we got? Arriba Las Vegas. For futures. Right, beautiful. I just want to make sure I acknowledge all of you because...
Many non-governmental organizations, keep in mind, track all these, report them, hold them accountable.
They work because of you. And I think it was important that you all spoke first because this is your event, this is for you. I think often what happens in this building is we come out, the legislators, and assume like we put in all the work, and it's not true. You all are doing it. You're the people that are keeping us going, and so we have to acknowledge you and recognize.
And who the hell does he mean you're the people? What the hell is he talking about? You as in who? Illegals? Non-citizens? Invaders? This is foreign influence of our elections. This guy, I think he needs to be reported. He needs to be investigated by the feds because this is foreign interference of our elections. And it's so sad that our state in this middle of the desert has come to this point right here. And why has this happened? Because it's mainly how the casinos hire. And the unions, the Culinary Workers Union, the SEIU, Laborers 872, these unions are destroying our state. You know, kind of like how GM and UAW destroyed Detroit. And they're doing a similar pattern to Las Vegas, believe it or not. They pump these people in, they change our elected officials, and of course, these are the same people who, believe it or not, fill up your public schools, and they create the next generation, the replacement of who's going to live in our state. Shame on this filthy piece of garbage.
The only thing I wanted to say is welcome. And I don't mean just today. I don't mean just right now. I mean welcome. We have every single city in this state, every single county has this sign that says welcome, right? And somehow we've forgotten what that means.
Wait. What does he mean welcome? It doesn't mean that anybody can just come into the city and cause trouble. It doesn't mean that anybody can just steal social security numbers in order to get a job. It doesn't mean that we should have MS-13 gang members and terrorizing our communities. It doesn't mean that people should come in and have anchor babies and flood our public services. What the hell are you talking about? Stop using these warm and fuzzy propaganda terms to get what you want. It's a shaming to see all this happen.
That welcome is this conversation that is ever moving and growing. We have an obligation to make that word actually mean something. When our student was speaking from UNR, is that correct? NNIC. That word welcome is so powerful, right? And it's important that we give it the meaning it actually means again. So when I say welcome to this book,
yeah, welcome means that if you are looking at the person who's welcoming you, that person is not beneath you, that you do not put policies that substitute the welcoming individual in order for that person to come in and literally walk all over that person. In other words, if I have a welcome sign in my front door, that doesn't mean I welcome anyone. That doesn't mean that they have the right to come in and put my life in jeopardy. They are welcome if they respect my rules. So in other words, if I am welcome in the city of Las Vegas, I have to respect their rules. I have to respect the character of the city. If I'm welcome in the United States, I have to respect their sovereignty. Not these piece of garbage invaders, which I believe this guy is catering to the caravan, so they can come in and bring diseases and all this other bullcrap crime into our communities. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I mean it today, tomorrow, and in perpetuity. We are you. And that's all I need you to leave today.
Wow, he can't even make complete thoughts or something. Can you just really believe what he's trying to point out? He's frustrated. He doesn't even know exactly how to make understandable points of view.
Anyway, the Nevada Hispanic Legislative Caucus, but so many other members in this building are you. The word immigrant is so powerful because
yeah, you as in the illegal. That's who he's representing. Can you believe it? Our governments have been hijacked. Wake up. Start holding these people accountable. You know, maybe we should have a march. Maybe we should all come together and confront this piece of garbage and make them feel ashamed of themselves. Because remember, folks, if you don't, that's the worst part. The worst part is not these politicians and these illegals. The worst part is the people of Nevada not doing much because they have been misled, because they have been brainwashed, and they have been led by empty promises that these politicians, the next election's going to work, and it's not really helping. Over time, it's been driving our country down the drain.
it does not care about religion, gender, race, ethnicity. It doesn't care where you come from.
Wait. You say the term immigrant. First of all, there's a difference. There's a difference between legal and illegal. Get it over your head. You see, they're dropping that term. They're misleading you. They're ignoring the truth, and they can prove themselves that they are basically desperate.
Is the byproduct of an immigrant. And we have to...
Yeah, legal immigrant, not illegal. There's a damn difference. My gosh, he thinks anybody can just storm in across the country. But he knows, because you have to look at his campaign donors. You have to look at who's he's circling with. I'm sure it's George Soros, Harry Reid. He's a tool of Harry Reid. This shouldn't surprise people, very likely, that he is. So, again, they use these warm and fuzzy terms to get away with it. And this whole Native American argument is such full of crap. Look, folks, if you go around the world, every land has been occupied and conquered from one group of people and another. Hey, let's kick out all the Muslims from North Africa because they weren't there first. Yeah. What are you going to say to the Mongolians? See, folks, this is incredibly stupid. And by the way, what's your excuse to what's happening in Europe? Is Europe a nation of immigrants? Why is the streets of Paris getting massive immigration? And look what just happened to them. They're doing this at a time when the streets of Europe is burning because of immigration. Folks, this is a propaganda tool. And when you tell them about what's happening in Europe, they don't answer you. They get scared. They run away.
Remember that. As you're walking through these doors and you feel that maybe somebody won't understand you, you remind them who they are as well. Because when they are looking at you, they are looking at a mirror, because their story and our story, it is the same. We so often use our different stories to try to divide our communities. But it's actually the fact that we have such diverse stories that brings us together.
Bull crap. First of all, you guys are the one that's playing the race card. You guys are the one that's playing the identity card. And that's causing the opposite side to feel more and more frustrated with you. That's causing more of us to get upset and pissed off. Because you guys are the real dividers playing the race card. And by the way, it's you guys are the ones that are choosing not to assimilate, which causes more and more division. It's the Soroses, it's the media that's creating all this division. Folks, wake up. What they are trying to resolve is usually the opposite of what's really, really going on.
It is actually the only thing that makes us all the same. Be proud of being in this building, because it's your building. We have a responsibility as...
Yeah, the building that you claim belongs to illegal aliens. Illegal aliens are not supposed to be here. This guy should be ashamed of himself. This guy is literally trying to promote the invasion of this country. And you've got all these identity groups. You have an Asian assembly member. You have an Ethiopian assembly member. And I'll expose them later on, that what they're doing is uniting and trying to take over our state. And frankly, many Nevadans, particularly the cowboys, like the one I just spoke to, they're getting pissed off. And I think Nevada will be the spark of the civil war in this country.
Much to you as we have to every single other individual. When you walk around here, walk like you own the building, because you do.
And by the way, division is largely caused by diversity, depending on how it's managed. Diversity leads to conflict. So if you look at Edgar Flores' district, it's not even diverse. It's like 70% Hispanic. So they don't really want diversity truly in their neighborhoods. They want to live in their homogenous societies. And you know what's the sad part? Those neighborhoods used to be different. But those other cultures, particularly whites, have fled those areas that have turned into third world nightmares. And those white people, many of them are probably now living in Henderson, in Summerlin, and in Centennial. And they vote differently. And this just proves that if you're importing cultures that are different, it leads to conflict. It leads to differences. It doesn't work. Wake up, folks. You guys have been lied to.
It is your building. Walk around it as if you have a voice, because you do. It is your voice that speaks in there. We are fighting for a lot of legislation that we believe will impact all of you in a very positive way. But what we do and when we vote...
Yeah, positive way for illegals, which comes at a cost of the American citizen. Wow, just warm and fuzzy terms just to basically mislead the public. Shame on this piece of garbage. And by the way, if you look right here, the video has 1,500 views. So I started to share this video to many Facebook groups. And before that, it was only about 200, 300. Now it's at 1,500 views. Folks, now look at this. It has a lot of negative reactions right around here. And I've been sharing at this, and it's getting viral, folks. It is getting viral. And people are starting to wake up in our state. They're starting to realize where the Reids of the world are coming from, where all this bad legislation is coming from. And we also have to keep in mind that many people on the Republicans sold us out, especially Brian Sandoval. because he's the guy that helped to give driver's licenses for illegal aliens, and now the DMV is helping register people to vote. Connect the dots, put the puzzle pieces together, know what this is about. They want to pass laws to increase their benefits, to boost public sector union pay, so they can go after our guns. You would have not had the gun control if it weren't for these dimwits. Wake up, folks. Why isn't Idaho and Utah having gun control? It's because of their population.
It is not as powerful as when you roam these hallways and when you speak and you remind us to vote. That's where the real power of today is. So we ask you, please walk around, talk to your legislators. Remind them of who they are. Remind them of who you are. And maybe by the time we leave this session, we're going to leave with some bills that actually represent you. This is the session to do it.
Now notice how he says you. He doesn't say all Nevadans. You got to understand the terms and the words, phrases very carefully, okay? You see, and this is why I believe ICE should have been there, because I don't think ICE should just mainly go after criminals or people who commit serious identity theft. ICE should go after the activists because they are threatening our sovereignty and our way of life in the United States.
The most diverse legislature that we've ever had.
Bull crap. Diverse. Who gives a shit? Who cares? I care about their policy. I care about what they do. This guy is using the identity card to get elected. It's no wonder things in states like Nevada, California, New York, Illinois, they are the way they are. Because of identity BS politics. The Democratic Party have created their own group of voters, the immigrants, the minorities, the feminists, the public employees, the environmentalists. All these kinds of people, the emasculated soy boys, LGBT, these groups barely existed decades ago. And this is one of the reasons why they're trying to import the caravan. Now, Trump is trying to ship those caravan people, I think, to places like Malibu. Anyway, we'll see how that turns out. But this is why you need to control immigration, because it's used for identity politics. Just like that Reid Culinary Union La Raza whore, Yvonne Cancela, pointed out, oh, we need to get more Latinos voting, all that whatever. Yeah, it's identity politics. But if white people do it, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world.
In this state, we have a woman majority. It's about time. It's about time that you adequately get represented through our laws and bills that we're proposing, and that the governor will sign. Go and visit our governor's office. He wants to listen to you. He's made it very clear that he is an ally. Go and speak to our Senate and Assembly.
And why is he an ally? Very simple. Because he's funded by the MIG casino players, Jim Murren of MGM Resorts. And of course, he knows that, of course, when these people vote, they can pass on their legislation agenda, such as the gun control and everything else. It's part of their replacement. That's why Sisolak, when I talk about immigration in front of him, he gets very frustrated because we're exposing their scams. And folks, I don't want to be misunderstood. Forget these politicians. Make change in the streets. Grill your politicians until they can't do their jobs. And start passing referendums. You need E-Verify. You need to give tax breaks to casinos that hire all their employees, American citizens. You need to tax the foreign remittances. Go after the money. You don't need to do the police state. As soon as you can do that, go after the money, then the whole thing will collapse and much of corruption in Nevada will come to an end. I mean, this is really the problem, folks. Many people in the GOP, they're stuck in this illusion to think that, oh, well, the next election is coming. We're going to get a Republican governor. Nonsense. Many of these Republicans that were in, they sold you out, and they were part of the whole crony Harry Reid establishment. And unless if we people fight back, this state's going to be lost.
leadership because they've made it very clear that they are allies. They will listen. Remind them of your story. Thank you for being here. Gracias por estar aquí. Que están en su casa.
This is America. Speak English. And by the way, not every immigrant group is a Spanish speaker. Okay? And by the way, I actually spoke Persian in front of the legislature at their face to see if they actually tolerate that. So they're being biased. They are the real dividers.
Nadie de nosotros que estamos en este edificio seríamos nada sin ustedes. Les damos las gracias por...
I think that means none of us is understanding something. Whatever.
Acompañarnos este día y una vez más dar...
And again, you have to understand, many of these people are paid agitators. Look at this right here.
I came up here.
Many of these people, and I know a lot of these people. By the way, this woman right here is the one that called the police on me. Remember? I actually did, believe it or not, knocked on the door of her house because it says that you can come in. One of her housemates let me inside, and then she found out who I was, and then they sent detectives knocking in my door. And then they're crying about, oh, ICE is tearing up families. Confront these politicians, embarrass them, folks. And they always prove, oh, well, we're helpless, we're innocent, we did nothing wrong, feel sorry for us. Bull crap. Look at history. You will see that so many tyrannical regimes, so much corruption happens because of propaganda. Propaganda is used to control the masses. So, anyway, I want you all to share and spread this video if you can. And before I move along is that we do have good news. We are waking up. We are pushing back. There's been a lot of progress made about immigration. But then again, if they try to make this a sanctuary state, we can have the city sue. And I'm sure even the city of Las Vegas is going to fight back. So the thing is, you have to keep in mind that many of these immigrants are coming here because of the stability of the U.S. economy, the value of the dollar, and the welfare benefits they get. Of course, the welfare benefits, many of them are federally owned welfare benefits. And many of the state services are public schools. And if we have a severe economic crash, well, there's going to be massive budget cuts. And there's going to be job losses. And many of these immigrants need to get subsidized to move on. So if this government really starts to fail, by the way, state governments, they can't print money, so they're going to have to raise taxes, and good luck doing that. It's going to get so much heat and opposition. By the way, if they raise taxes so high, the state's going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't think it's going to be like California, where it's still in a way being propped up, because California, people are willing to pay more. Nevada has a lot of competitors. And by the way, California actually is suffering now because a lot of wealthy people are leaving. So karma is coming. And more importantly, many of these immigrants are low-skilled. They're working in low-skilled jobs like cleaning, cashier, cooking, that easily could be automated. What's going to happen when those jobs are gone and a machine push of a button takes care of everything? We're not going to pump you up with welfare, folks. Wake up. So I believe that the economic storm, and I'm not talking about necessarily doom and gloom and Peter Schiff and buy gold, but that along with the technological reality is going to really, really have a drastic impact. And these people, if it happens, they're going to get embarrassed. So stay optimistic, do what you can, spread this video, and confront these politicians. Fight back. Take care.